I'm here. It's World War II. I'm an American soldier in a chateau in France, and I'm hunting ghosts. I think I hear one now.
Noelle, it's me, Robert. I'm not a ghost. Well, maybe now I'm a ghost. Hello, I am Robert.
And I'm Noelle.
What's the movie today?
The movie today is Ghosts of War from 2020, directed by Eric Bress. He also directed The Butterfly Effect.
That was sort of a time travel movie. Well, let me set the stage. This is about 5 American soldiers in World War II, and they've been sent to occupy and hold a French chateau and hold it off against the Nazis. It used to be a Nazi base, a Nazi intelligence center or whatever. And they go and they relieve another squad of Americans that are there, and they're like, "Whoa, it's about time. Oh, you're late." And they're pretty pissy about it. Those other guys, they didn't like being there, did they?
They were ready to get out of there.
And they were weird about it. They were like, "Why are you sleeping in the Jeep? Why, where's all that? Why aren't you sleeping on the mattress?" And they were just like, "Yeah, we gotta go. You're in charge now." So I only knew a couple people. I only recognized a couple of the actors in this. The lead, arguably the male lead, is Brenton Thwaites. Did you recognize him?
No, but he was the handsomest one.
He was. I'll give you that. He was in Titans. He was in Oculus, which is another spooky movie. And he was in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, too. He had a nice little supporting role in that. Billy Zane, who he was in this. He had a small part in this. You'll recognize him early on as a Nazi colonel. Of course, Billy Zane has like a thing, like his head's always shaved, and every character he doesn't wear wigs or anything. He's bald, so you'll see him. And I don't recall the actor's name, but did you see the first Iron Man movie with Robert Downey Jr.? So he gets in an accident, and there's shrapnel in his heart, and then there's an Arab doctor that saves his life. That dude's in this film. Can't remember his name. So this film takes place in 1944, a Nazi-occupied Germany during World War II.
You gotta be prepared for jump scares and some limbs being lost.
I mean, it's a war movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did seem to have an excessive amount of jump scares. I'll say this about this movie, because I don't like to spoil movies. So this movie starts out, in my opinion, as a nice little ghost. It's a period ghost story. It's the 1940s ghost story, wartime ghost story. And there's some spooky stuff that happens, and there's ghostly activity. There's definitely ghosts. They exist. It's a real thing in this world. And about halfway through, all I want to say is the movie takes a turn.
Quite the dramatic turn.
A twist. Well, I think I'm even talking about before we get to the last 20 or so minutes. There's a turn that I've seen, and it's still a spooky ghost story. But it's after they leave the chateau and they start walking through the countryside, and you're like, well, okay. I mean, I've seen that before in some scary shows. And then in the last 20 minutes...
An even bigger turn.
Everything, it's like a completely different movie. I'll just say this. I would have been happier if they had stayed with the 1940s wartime ghost story.
Yeah, me too.
And just taken that to the finale. But they didn't. This would be a good time to say lines from the movie. But all the lines in the movie suck. So we have none. Sometimes we talk about goofs, you know, like, oh, there's a giraffe in this shot, and then, you know, there's no giraffe in the next shot, that kind of thing. A period movie like this, there's often sort of anachronistic boo-boos that the set designers and the PAs and the set dressing people make. In particular, military movies, they often fuck up the insignia, you know, like these guys are from 3 different divisions and 32 different regiments or so based on their patches. So people that know, might have problems with that, with this movie. I will say that there's kind of an explanation for that by the time you get to the end of the movie. So it's hard to tell what's a goof and what's just, you know, we'll explain it because of the plot points, but I don't know. This brings us to the point, so that we don't spoil it, we'll just give you a pumpkin rating.
This is a toughie. We're definitely at 1 pumpkin so far.
Yes.
I say 2 pumpkins.
I'll go along with that for the whole movie. If they had rewritten the first half of the movie and just continued it as a nice 1940s wartime ghost story, it'd be 3 pumpkins, depending on, maybe could go up a little bit from that, but the twists.
Some of the choices left something to be desired.
Some bad choices. Yeah.